Hello everyone, we're at Pocket Gamer Connects London 2024. I'm Dylan from HyprChats and I'm joined by Maya from Supercell. Maya, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Excited to be here.
Of course. Well, thanks for joining us. Why don't we get started and talk us through your career journey up to this point and how you landed at Supercell.
Yeah, sure. So I'm relatively new here at Supercell. I joined from after 12 years in the industry. I worked on a few casual games in the past, originally from Tel Aviv, but now I live in Finland, in Helsinki. So Supercell was founded in 2010. I joined after about 12 years in the industry. I started at Israel, originally based from Tel Aviv, but I actually moved to Finland for this role. I'm acting as the GM for Hay Day. Hay Day is one of our live games. We have a few other titles such as Boom Beach, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and Brawl Stars. And very excited for this role, very excited about Supercell, of course.
Absolutely, and congrats on the move over. There's currently a big presence here at Pocket Gamer Connects of Supercell being around. And one of the key topics in the keynote was this cultural shift that the organization's going through. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about it and how it impacts you and your team over at Hay Day.
Yeah, sure. So the talk yesterday was by Frank, who's a Brawl Stars GM. Probably best to hear about the culture shift from his view, since him being about probably 9 years more than I am in the company. Yeah. But what I can say is what this means for Hay Day. So I think for Hay Day, we understand that we are obliged to deliver the best experience to our players, and in order to do that, we need to grow. So I think what we're trying to focus on is how do we grow in a way that does not impact negatively the parts of the culture that we want to maintain, but also understand that some things do change, right? But change is not a one-stop end, it's a journey. And it's a journey that the game team is going through together with the company, and we're understanding what is the best way to do this in such a way that we make sure that what makes the game what it is today remain. We have a saying in Hay Day that nothing bad ever happens, and we want to make sure that that continues to be.
Well, that's great to hear, and you mentioned it a little bit as well, but it seems like there's a really big push on putting players first at Supercell. Why is that so interesting? Maybe you could speak a little bit more on it.
So in Hay Day we have three sayings, like I said. The first one is nothing bad ever happens. The second one is that there's always something to do. And the third one is that something is always happening in Hay Day. In order to deliver these three sentences to the player, we understand that the first one we need to make sure that all the features that we have in the game are the best as possible and are creating that experience, right? That nothing bad ever happens. So we are understanding what works, making sure that we enhance that, we're fixing what doesn't, but we're also making sure to add what is needed to be added in order for that to happen. And then the next sentence, which was, there's always something to do, means that we want to make sure that our players have daily fun, right? There's always small chases, long chases, big chases in the game for our players to see something that is constantly happening and that they have something to interact with. And then the last part is that something is always happening in the game. I think that's something that we want to make sure that we celebrate. We want to make sure that we market it properly and that we introduce this to the community in a way that they constantly see that the game is live, things are happening, and that experience is enhanced. So I think that's kind of the way that we make sure to deliver that with everything that's happening.
Totally, no, for sure. Speaking more on industry things, what are some trends that you're currently seeing in the casual gaming space? And what does that process look like when your team is evaluating these and looking to implement some of them in Hay Day?
Yeah, I think like we said, we're focusing first on our player needs, right? And through that, we understand that our mission remains the same. We want to make Hay Day better, so as many players as possible play it and remember it forever. I think one of the interesting things that is happening is that the way that players see the game, it's not anymore an end game. You don't want to try to reach the end. So gameplay changed from an end game to a forever game. And that means that we need to make sure that we continuously deliver the experience that a forever game demands.
Perfect, yeah. And then, coming down to the wire here, last question. Obviously, we're in January, beginning of the year. Got a whole year ahead of us. What can we expect to see, not only from Supercell, but obviously specific to Hay Day, since that's what you're very much focused on?
So for Supercell, our mission and dream remain the same. We want to create great games that as many people as possible play and remember them forever. And that hasn't changed. I think for Hay Day, we're going to probably be seeing a lot of new exciting new things happening, right? There's going to be, every month is going to matter. Like we're going to continuously deliver more and more things to our players. So I think I could say that there's a lot of really exciting things happening in the game. And like I said, nothing bad ever happened. So it's probably all going to be really good.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that's great to hear. Really exciting. A lot of things to look forward to. Maya, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.